Hi everyone, it's Celeste and welcome to my booktube channel. Today I want to film my June wrap up, all the books that I read and listened to in the month of June. I had 10 total. That includes audiobooks and the physical copies and then one on my Kindle. So I'm going to start with the audiobooks because I don't have them to hold up and show. The first one that I finished this month, for the month of June, was Beneath the Sugar Sky by Seanan Mcguire. And I got on a kick so far this half of the year where I've just gone through all of Seanan Mcguire's Wayward Children series. And so that was the last one that I needed. And I enjoyed the audiobooks. They're really well narrated. The second one is The Awkward Thoughts of W. Kamau Bell by W. Kamau Bell. And I like to listen to like memoir-esque books. Oh, by the way, Beneath the Sugar Sky I gave 5 stars, and The Awkward Thoughts of W. Kamau Bell I gave 4 stars. And the next book that I listened to was Educated, a Memoir by Tara Westover, and I gave it 4 stars. And it was really interesting. It's one of the new releases for this year, and it's getting a lot of buzz. And it is difficult to get through. There's some triggering things in it, but really well worth reading or listening to. It's about this woman who grew up in Idaho in a secluded Mormon household, and sort of like the Ruby Ridge family, where the father was very controlling and the kids were not allowed to go to school. And so she talks about her education, both like in school, her school education, but she also talks about her education like as a person and like liberating herself from control. So I really recommend that one. The next one that I listened to was King's Cage by Victoria Aveyard. I read the first 2 of the series, and I didn't even have a copy of King's Cage, and I thought, well, I'll listen to it and see what it is, how it goes. And I'm glad that I did, because it's very long. Since it's the 3rd in the series, there's not a whole much I can say about it. It kind of goes along with the other 2 books. I didn't really enjoy it as much. I only gave it 2 stars. I gave the other 2 books in the series kind of low ratings too, but my issue with it is that there was a lot of strategic planning for war and then war, and I'm not a fan of that. So those are the audiobooks. The Kindle book that I read this month was My Dearest Hurricane, Love and Things That Looked Like It by Morgan Nicola Wren. I gave it 2 stars. It's one of those poetry books that's pretty short, so it was a short read, but it's sort of in the same vein as Milk and Honey, which I didn't like that one either. And I think I've kind of decided that when it comes to poetry, I'm just going to have to be very picky about what poetry I pick up, because these emotional, like relationship-driven poetry books that I've been picking up just aren't doing it for me. Just not my style. They might be someone else's style, but they're just not my style. I guess I'm a little pickier than that. Graphic novels that I read, or graphic volumes that I've read. I was hoping to get through volumes 1 through 3 of Miss Marvel, but unfortunately I only got through volumes 1 and volumes 2. This is volume 1, and this is volume 2. And I'm really liking these. I've got volume 3 ready to go, and I will be reading that one soon. It's Marvel, so like every now and then there's some other part of the Marvel universe that kind of gets into it. So that's a little jarring for me because I'm not really into all that, but you know, it's still interesting and good, and I like the characters. I really like Kamala. She's really fun and quirky. Okay, so let's see. I'm jumping around on my list. And I gave both of the Miss Marvels 4 stars each because they were just fun and exactly what they were supposed to be. The next one that I gave is the 1-star book for this month, and it's Naomi and Eli's No Kiss List. And while I was reading it, I was like, it's yellow, it doesn't want to show up. There it goes. And I've got like an old paperback looking cover. The thing with this book is when I was reading it, I was not liking it. And I was like, well, maybe other people liked it. I'm just not seeing something. So I went on Goodreads and read some reviews, and the reviews were like not good either. It didn't have a high rating, so I didn't feel really bad, but I pushed through it and finished it. But I only gave it 1 star because it was such a trial to read such a small book. You know, it took me so long to read a small book because it was tough on me. And it's about teenagers. Naomi is in love with Eli, but Eli is gay, and it's written by David Levithan and Rachel Cohen. And I have never read from Rachel Cohen before, so I can't speak for her, but David Levithan, I have a love-hate relationship. Sometimes I love what he writes, and sometimes he writes things and I'm just like, oh my god, how did this get published? So I don't know what to say about that. Let's see, the next one that I have on my list was from the book club pick for this month for the book club I'm in, and it was The Leavers by Lisa Coe, and I gave it 4 stars. It's really applicable to what's going on today. It has to do with issues of immigration and deportation. It's about this boy named Deeming whose name gets changed to Daniel, and it's about like this mystery of like what happened to his mother and his search for his mother, and it's really touching, and it might be kind of a tearjerker for some because of, you know, how the family dynamics were disrupted by governmental interference, and it's dealing with Chinese immigrants too. I don't think I mentioned that. Okay, and then let's see. I've mentioned everything else. And the last thing that I read this month that I finished in the month of June is There's Someone Inside Your House by Stephanie Perkins. This is another book that didn't get really high ratings, and the reason that I think that is because people are expecting Stephanie Perkins to write light, fluffy, contemporary romance, and she took her hand at trying to write like a thriller, slasher thriller type book, and so people who were looking for slasher thrillers went into this book and said there's too much romance, and then people who wanted romance said there's too much slashing and killing, and so I just went into it and just, you know, took it for what it was. I ended up giving it 4 stars because I enjoyed it thoroughly. So I know some people haven't enjoyed it and it's gotten sort of mixed reviews, but I liked it. I received it really well. And so those are the 10 books that I've either listened to or read this month. Let me know down in the comments what you've read, or if you've read any of these books, or if you have any, you know, any input in what I've had to say about them. I didn't feel strongly enough. I didn't have any like really strong. The only 5-star book that I had was Beneath the Sugar Sky, and pretty much Seanan Mcguire could write me a Wayward Children's grocery list and I would like it. So there's that. So I'm kind of biased in that sense, but nothing that really just, it wasn't a bad reading month, but it wasn't like a touching reading month, if that makes sense. Like, I'll probably forget some of those books as time goes by. So there's that. All right, well, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.